Welcome to another edition of Pro Paintball Weekly. I'm your host, Evan Money, and this week we're talking Commander's Cup Super 7 Orange County Edition. West Coast, are you ready? And the world, for that matter. And this is the big news for this event so far, folks. They have announced Arena Paintball. That's right. They are advertising a giant arena, saying the best it's ever been here at the Orange County Fairgrounds, and I'm looking forward to that. Stadium and grandstands on one side, giant VIP area on the other. And again, Super 7's pulling out all the stops for the Commander's Cup in 2006. All right, folks, now the question remains, who's in and who's out in the championship race? Let's start with the mathematically still alive, and we'll work our way up and give you all the scenarios on how it's going to go down. Number one, let's talk who's still alive. It is, of course, New York NRG. Who would have thought? These guys were playing semi-pro last year, and now they're in the runnings for the championship, for the title. Can you believe it? Yes, it's true. Of course, there are a few things that needs to happen, so let's break them down. New York NRG must win, and Excessive, Dynasty, and Rage must place 12th and under, and Joy and Ironmen must place 7th and under. A likely scenario? Not really, but of course, it is possible. And can you imagine, from the semi-pro ranks to MPPL champions, good luck, New York NRG. Moving on, LA Ironmen, yes, mathematically still possible. But here's, again, the scenario of what has to happen. First, LA Ironmen must win. That's right, must win. They've come close a few times, but they got to get in the winner's circle. And then, Excessive, Dynasty, well, let's start with Excessive. Excessive needs to be 12th or under. Dynasty needs to come in at 9th or under. Rage needs to come in 7th or under. And Joy a 4th and under. Now, if you look at Boston's results, that is not improbable, and again, very likely to happen. But of course, Ironmen have to step up, and all these guys needs to be off. I think the most likely of that not happening would be Joy, because those guys are red hot, and Excessive and Dynasty coming at the end of the year playing a West Coast event. I don't see the breakdown happening that happened in Boston, but nonetheless, it is possible for the LA Ironmen, for Oliver and company. Moving on, let's talk Stockholm Joy. Again, Maximus Prime and company. And here's the sad thing about Joy Division. As you know, in the first event, they got horrible placing because they only brought half their team because they were playing another event over in the Millennium Series. And also they're suffering too because in the Millennium Series they won 4 in a row but are not the series champions because they only had half their team for the first event. So Joy Division needs to figure out which pond they're going to play in because they've almost cost themselves the championships in both leagues. But again, it is mathematically possible and not that far-fetched. Let's take a look at what needs to happen. Joy Division, of course, must win, as they did last time in San Diego. Excessive needs to come in 6th and under. Dynasty, 5th or under. Again, what do you mean by under? 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, like that. Rage, no better than 3rd, okay? And again, can this happen mathematically? That's a lot better chances than New York NRG. So again, Joy Division could be crowned the next Super 7 champions, and there's nothing more than Maximus would love to celebrate that victory. Moving on, let's talk Miami Rage. Again, Rage and the boys, the only thing that stands in the way is themselves. What needs to happen? Let's take a look. Rage needs to win, of course. Then Excessive and Dynasty, the only teams that stand in their way. Excessive needs to do no better than 4th. Dynasty no better than 3rd. And Rage will be the series champions. Again, mathematically possible, very possible. Again, I think, if anyone can do it, Rage can do it. But again, the question is, are they going to get out of their way? Ran into Art when I was at my East Coast tour. He's excited about the show and excited about stepping up and showing the world that, yes, Rage can come through. And imagine a nice championship ring would look good on Art's finger. Moving on, Dynasty, the boys in blue, right now sitting in 2nd place, just a few points behind the leaders Excessive. Let's take a look at what needs to happen for the boys in blue to take it all the way for their 4th consecutive MPPL Super 7 Series champs. And really, the only scenario is pretty simple. Dynasty needs to win, and that's about it. Period. Now here's the thing. If Dynasty wins and Excessive gets 2nd place, it's a tie. Lions and Tigers and Bears, oh my, that's right. A tie for the series champion. What are they going to do then? Give him 2 rings? I don't know. Are they going to have a playoffs? Can you imagine having a playoff game at the end of the day after you're dog tired saying, oh yeah, the winner of this game is the series champ? Ooh, that's a scenario I don't think the Super 7 is looking forward to. But again, it could happen. So Dynasty controls its destiny. They need to win. And of course, again, if Excessive gets a 2nd place, they tie. But again, could happen. Again, very exciting to see. But again, the boys in blue need to do one thing, and that is win and grab the series championships. And again, that's a great way to do it. Going out in style, on top with the W, and taking the championship away right out of excessive hands. Can it be done? I think so. And the boys in blue, if anyone can do it, the boys in blue can. Okay, moving on. Last but not least, excessive. They're sitting pretty in first place right now. And I don't think that these scenarios, again, played in their minds beginning of the year. Again, it looked like a runaway between them and Dynasty, and now Rage and Joy Division coming up, again, keeping it close, and again, all these teams fighting for the championships. What does Excessive need to do? Let's take a look. Really, they control their own destiny. Excessive needs to basically win, and that's pretty much, they guarantee their own success. They win, doesn't matter what other scenario happens, and they've got it. Again, anything else, really, as it says on the screen, is left to chance. All right, folks, that does it for this week's edition of Pro Paintball Weekly. On next week's edition, we're going to talk bottom feeders, who's stepping down involuntarily from the top 18, and who's stepping up from semi-pro to fill those spots. So we'll see you here next week. I'm Evan Money. God bless, everybody.